guys, well, it's quite disturbing to basically see a video where black people, are basically fighting other black people. It's really sad. It is really sad indeed. But all I can say is that Vililyachika, whatever happens today, or rather whatever goes around comes around. I just don't understand why another black man would fight against another black man. There are situations whereby sometimes you kind of, put yourself aside, you divide yourself and say, ah man, the people that are being extorted are not Xhosa people. I'm Xhosa, for example, and the people who are being extorted are Somalians. So it doesn't happen to us. We will just avoid it. It's none of our business. And then eventually it continues, and then it gets to you people as the Xhosas. And the Zulus will be like, no, it's happening to the Xhosas and the Somalians, etc. As long as it's not happening to us, the Zulus, we don't give a shit or a damn about it. Eventually it goes on to the Zulus and so forth. When it gets to the lost group of people, there's no one to defend you. Okay? So you need to think about izinto ezinjalo. Kusemhlabeni apha basically. Guys, we understand that South Africa is overpopulated by foreign nationals, and I do believe there are ways of dealing about izinto. Because at the end of the day, black people have nothing in South Africa. Aninando, you guys are fighting the wrong people. You guys are fighting the wrong people because Aninando, you have got nothing to show. You can't tell me Waterfront, for example. Waterfront doesn't belong to black people, it belongs to white people. You guys are fighting the wrong people. Instead of fighting the white monopoly capitalist, you guys are fighting abantu poor. Those are poor people that you guys are fighting. Those people have nothing, basically. Those people have nothing. Instead of fighting for the entire cake, you guys want crumbs. Like what the fuck, man? Like what's wrong? What's wrong with you guys? Like what's really wrong with African people? Like why nichikelana kanje? As if you will never need each other. At one stage, as Africans, particularly the frontline states, they were there helping South Africa to be liberated from the Apartheid, and eventually the freedom was received. And I want you guys to highlight the difference between freedom, because you've got freedom, you don't have independence, you've got freedom. Your independence. The Boer received independence from the British. They received from the British, if I'm correct, around 1910. That's when the Boers received an independence. And they celebrate independence till today. Nina ni celebrate Freedom Day. There's a difference between freedom and independence. Hence why the economy is in the hands of the white minority. Because Abo Bantu, they have independence. Nina freedom. Two different things. And yet today, after receiving that freedom, which was basically a result of being assisted by other African countries, and namhlanje niyabajikela. So it's going to happen to you again. And now tell me, who will defend you if it happens to you guys? There will be no one to defend you. Abelungu abasoze banidefende. Already banilandukisa apha banityisa ngopipe already. Now how much more if it happens again? Who will be there to defend you guys? We need to think about ezizinto. As much as South Africa is well developed, Africa, Waterfront doesn't belong to black people, it belongs to white people. Sea Point, it's white people. Camps Bay, it's white people. The real South Africa, yabantu abamnyama, it's Soweto, it's Khayelitsha. If you go to those places, and you'll understand that that is the real, that's a true reflection of a black South Africa. Just look at the environment. Go to Philippi, go to Samora, go to Soshanguve, Alexandra, and so forth. That's the real South Africa. Ungangixeli South Africa mna ye-Sandton, ye-Waterfront. Black people don't afford, you guys don't afford to live kwezandawo. The only people who afford to live in those places, it's those who are politically empowered through BEE. You can fighting your black brothers and sisters from other African states, instead of uniting to basically remove these so-called tyrannies. That's what we should do, Singam Africa, Kutimbana Song, and remove all these so-called liberational movements, the likes of ZANU-PF, MPLA, Frelimo. Those are the people that we need to fight if we want a true liberated Africa, where we can all have opportunities in our own homelands, in our own countries. Because this is not a solution. What's happening in the video, it's not a solution. Are a solution, like, it's not a solution. And I want you guys to reflect on Londo. I want you to deeply reflect on what I'm saying. We're all black people, regardless of you're from South Africa, you're from Mozambique, you're from Angola, you're from Zimbabwe, Botswana. We are all black people. We need to unite. We need to unite. Because we are not united. We are not. I'm not saying we need to unite South Africa. That's not what I'm saying. If other African countries were able to revolt and be vocal around the apartheid to basically save South Africa, you guys can do the same. You can do the same. Let's say Zimbabwe, you can basically go to the embassy of Zim and say, guys, we're closing the Zim embassy because of the number of people abalapha South Africa from Zimbabwe. We're closing embassy yenu, and we don't want any trade relations between South Africa and Zimbabwe until ZANU-PF is out of power. Like, come up with conditions so that your government can basically fight those government as well. I think that's the only solution, because at the end of the day, those other governments, they're protected by the same South African government. Zichomi, they belong to an association of the so-called liberational movements, so they defend one another. So if you guys can protest around ESO issues, to close the embassy, to close any dealings with Zim, etc., that should have a huge impact if we can do ESO Zinto, and close embassies of all those countries that are fluctuating. South Africa, close whatever relations, and make sure that South Africa does not have relations with those government. That could maybe help in having a proper conversation, but also in terms of making sure that in terms of voting, as the core rigged Ilandoki votes, but they are fair and free elections, because most African countries do not have a free and fair elections. Unfortunately, that's the reality. So guys, please reflecting kulondo singumzonzundu singabantu abamnyama sisonke. Let's reflect on that. Let's come up with different ways of doing things, ngoba ungomso asilazi ungomso, asazi uba kuzokwenzeka ntoni ngomso. So ndiyanicela.